lovelies. Sorry about the hair, sorry about the skin, sorry about everything, lighting, awful, blah. Oh God, I look dead. I'm here in Pusey at the bases. I am filming what I can with my shit equipment. I started with this, but the battery ran out in 10 minutes, and now I'm doing it with my really super marvellous camera. But the battery runs out with that, and I have to restart it every 15 minutes. It's a pain. I need some new equipment. Note to self, must get a new camera, must get a new laptop. Just a little bit of money. So yeah, this is going to be the intro, I think. Not this is the intro. Welcome to Pusey. We're here at bases. And it looks like I've been punched in the face. See, don't do makeup, hide. Lovely little village, gorgeous. Fascinating speakers, and Dot Street. Dot, I love you. She's doing a presentation, has done it, but obviously this is the intro. And like I say, I'm going to film what I can, as far as my equipment allows me. I'm very disorganised this time, because I've been so out of it, but it's been lovely to meet up with everybody. And everybody, if you get the chance to come to one of these, any event anywhere, do come, because the people are so lovely and you meet so lovely group of people. So yeah, I think we've got about 5 more speakers. It's quite packed in, and a party afterwards. So I'm going to apologise in advance for the drunk filming after. Anyway, ta-ta for now. I hope you enjoy my montage of the basis talks. Ta-ta for now.
Oh, it's nice to see everyone. I think the best thing for me to do is to start from the very beginning, which was my own sighting, and that was to change my life. I always think of the chap in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I know exactly how he felt, because when I saw mine, it was oval-shaped, and the speed was phenomenal. And I've got to admit, it frightened me. And it took me a while to get my act together. And then I realised I've got to find out what is going on. These things are for real. And believe you me, they are. I'm a firm believer in seeing's believing. But if you see it, you will know. I don't know, is there anybody here that's seen one? Oh yeah, probably why you're here. But likewise with ghosts, again, seeing believing. But in my case, I lived at the time, I lived in Great Yarmouth, and I eventually moved to Lowestoft. From Lowestoft, I worked with a local group in Great Yarmouth, and then in Rendlesham. And then I got to hear about a lass called Brenda Butler, and got to meet her. And then, this is when a life-changing experience happened for me. Is on the 27th of December 1980, just after midnight, I got a call from Brenda saying that Chris Penny, her partner at the time, had spoken to one of the airmen, and he said that a UFO had landed in the forest in Rendlesham. And neither Brenda and I knew where that was. Took us to find a map. But eventually we did get there, we found it, and we started the investigation. That went on from there, and then Brenda, we spoke to a lot of people, both Forestry Commission and civilians. So both were involved in this. But Brenda, sadly, because of work and everything, gave up, but I wouldn't. For me, it was like a quest. Something happened in that forest, and I've got to find out what. And people that know me know I'm a blooming determined person.
A little bit.
I still am in a way. But anyway, what I'm going to do, thanks to Matthew, I've got some slides of the area and stuff like that. Okay? Might be going for the first one. Oh, that's me up. A little bit younger. Only just. Right.
She's such a legend.
Yeah,
we like that.
There's my fur coat.
Just stop with that.
My hair, different colour. This is actually, I'm a bit of a Canadian as well. This is actually on the boundary of the forest and the field. Well, there's forest in the background, and to the this side, to the left, is the forest, and behind me is the field. I don't know if anyone knows, there's a documentary film coming out, Capel Green.
Yay. Well, yeah.
So that was that. Anyway, so and further down the road, I got in touch with a chap called Larry Warren. Might be a few of you have heard of him. I managed to get hold of him, and Larry Fawcett, because I managed to get to stay. My phone bill was £1,000 a quarter, and obviously I got to pay it back. But it was well worth it, because I managed to get the States and everything in the end. But yeah, Larry, when I spoke to Larry on the phone, hence the phone bill, he told me everything. One of the things that interested me, because before I met him, I'd been out there, and although you can't see it in the picture, but to this side of me, because this used to be a wood fence, it's a wire fence now, there was a broken bit of fence. And when I spoke to Larry, I know a lot of people say they don't believe him, but they've not investigated him like I did.
No.
And I do believe him. Because one of the things he said to me, which proved he was there, he mentioned about the broken fence. And I'd seen the broken fence and the oak tree that he mentioned, which you could just see the leaves of that oak tree. I thought there's definitely something, substance in there. So that got me going even more. So I did, and I got to, well, over the time I got to meet a lot of people, including the late Dr. Alan Hynek, bless him, rest in peace. A lovely chap. I don't know if any of you have met him. Has any of you been out north?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you know where the plaque is. That is where it landed. Because if you walk down the end of that walkway, would have been where the broken fence was. But you know, I find it's so difficult to explain. If I was there, it's so much easier to tell you. But with what Larry said, and I met Larry Fawcett, and he's the investigator, and he worked with CAUSE, which is Citizens Against UFO Secrecy. Oh, by the way, I did work for Blue Flora. Sadly, they seemed to have disappeared, but it was a good organisation. Can someone get me a drink of water? Sorry. Oh, there's no vodka in that. I'll keep it. Look at that. got the post book in there, look. This is safe. Where was I? Yeah. But I kept thinking, where's this all coming from? You know, UFOs, aliens. It does seem so far-fetched. You know, I'll be the first to admit it. And then the more I got into it, the more I was realising, and I explained, the one and only Colonel Holt. And the first time that me and Brenda went on the base, and with Larry Portet, he gave me a list of names, and he wanted me to down to, well, he was on Bentwaters. They're twin bases, by the way, Woodbridge and Bentwaters. Bentwaters being the main. But we got to meet, because I phoned Colonel Holt. He said, well, you're talking riddles. I said, I'm just asking if I can come and meet you. That's no riddle. So eventually we did. Brenda and I went down there. He was the most obstinate, awkward colonel I've ever met in my life. Well, you know, he blatantly wouldn't say a word. You know, it's like a waste of time. The ironic thing is while we was waiting, we was waiting to see squadron leader, what's his name, Don Morland, and he was like the landlord of the base, because the base was leased out to the Americans, so you had to make sure the Americans were behaving themselves, which half the time we didn't. But when we got to see Don Morland, he literally, and you could have hit me with a feather, turned round to his secretary, can you bring the UFO files in? I mean, Brenda looked at it and said, what? So, and it was a huge pile. And because me, nosy, I'm trying to have a look, and then he realised what I was doing. I'm sure that was that. But he didn't say no, nothing happened. Yeah. But he did point out where Rendlesham Forest was, so with the back of the base. I thought, I know, getting somewhere. So that was all that was good news. So that we carried on from there. But we realised, Ministry of Defence, a good old MOD, don't you just love them? I said, we got to get down that Ministry of Defence. And there's Brenda, Jenny Randalls, may know, and myself went down there. And we got it. And the lass we talked to, straight away, we were, oh, wait there, don't go. She got all excited, oh, yeah, this is looking good. And we waited a few minutes, and she came back. And we said about Colonel Holt. And when we mentioned Colonel Holt, now when we came out of the Ministry of Defence, the girl said, oh, well, that was a waste of time. I said, you've got to be joking. She called Colonel Holt Chuck, and yet she didn't know him. You do not. It's either Colonel Holt or Mr. Holt, but Colonel Holt. But Chuck, and she's saying she didn't know him. Yeah, right. Pass. Stupid woman. I think she thought I was But anyway, sweet Colonel. But I haven't met him since, and we've got on fine. Left his cotton little socks. Because he's now retired. But he was the last time I saw him, he was a totally different chap. You know, he was a human being like us. But he was a good fellow in the end. Now, all right about the East Gate, there it is. But it's now different. Because me, as everyone knows, I always poke my nose where I shouldn't. And I got to meet a family in a cottage on the other side of the field. If anyone's been down, you see two semi-detached, they are cottages. Well, I got to know a lass in there and her husband, and he worked at Woodbridge on the base. He's an American soldier. Oh, this is good. Anyway, he knew that I wanted to get onto that base, and I'm determined to get on that base. I said, well, how am I going to get? He said, not easy. Come and bring my lunch. I thought, oh, that sounds good. I can do that. And I had a moped at the time. I did it so many times. The guy on the gate said, oh, what's he got for his lunch today? I'm not telling you, you want it. Anyway, so I got on the base. One of my favourite aircrafts is an A-10. I love those planes. I'd love to go in one. Anyone can get me up in one, please. But to see one close up, and massive. I like the big round bits. As I said, and they were flying over the side, so low. And I can remember I was with this lass and the children himself having a picnic on site. Oh, that's something else I was having. And I waved to the plane, and he went like that. Oh. He waved back, and no noise. Right, yeah, too. Yeah, it was so interesting going on there. And then, because I managed to get onto Bentwalkers, to some of their boozy functions, you know, like a Lucasade, which has probably got vodka in, and got to meet a lot of people. I never had to ask any questions. Everybody was telling me about Rendlesham and what happened. I thought, crikey, this is an easy job, this investigation, right? But, you know, that's how. But the East Gate is where Jim, there was a different guy on the gate, and I've never been able to find out who he is. But John Burrows and Jim Penston, they were on the base, and they're the ones that came to the East Gate, which is there, which wasn't like, it was like a barrier. Went up and down, as a little box. But that's the way. That's where they came through. Hello? Anyone remember that? News of the World? Mate, that packed up just after that came out. That is the front page of the News of the World. UFO lands in Suffolk, and that's official. The picture down there, sadly I haven't got it on there. Keith Beebe really did a good job. He managed to get to talk to Colonel Holt. But it is Williams. Williams that's on there. But he says it's no hoax. I talked to a lot of top priority people. You believe them. But the bit that's it, you see my finger there, where it's got Holt, that's part of the Holt memo. I'm hoping it's on here. But yeah, this well sold out. Literally sold out when that came out. there's the part of the Holt memo. Has anyone seen the Holt memo?
Yeah.
It's interesting. This again. Oh, that's part of it. Flashing lights in the forest. A bit difficult probably for you to read all that. I will go on to the next one. Oh, that's a Holt memo. Can any of you read that at all?
Yeah, that's clear.
Probably the ones at the front can. Basically, I'll go through what it says. Early in the morning of 27th December 1980, approximately 0300, two US security police patrolmen saw unusual lights outside the back gate, RAF Woodbridge. Thinking an aircraft might have crashed or been forced down, they called for permission to go outside the gate to investigate. The on-duty flight chief responded and allowed 3 patrolmen to proceed on foot. The individuals reported seeing the strange glowing objects in the forest. The object was described as being metallic in appearance and triangular in shape, approximately 2 to 3 metres across and the base, and approximately 2 metres high. If anyone's into meters, you know that's quite big. The object was hovering on legs. As the patrolman approached the object, it manoeuvred through the trees and disappeared. At this time, the animals on duty nearby the farm went into a frenzy. The object was briefly sighted approximately an hour later near the back gate. The next day, 3 depressions of 1 foot, 1.5 deep to 7 inches in diameter were found where the object had been sighted on the ground. The following night, 29th December, the area was checked for radiation with the gamma readings of 0.1 million. From that word. I'm not educated. Were recorded with peak readings in the 3 depressions and near the centre of the triangle formed by the depression. A nearby tree had moderate 05/07 readings on the side of the trees towards the depression. Later in the night, a red sunlight light was seen through the trees. It moved about and pulsated. And it's not the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ian, but it's not. Lighthouses don't fly.
Apart from the miniature forest.
The throne grown. Later that night, the trees are moved through the pulsate. At one point, it appeared to throw off flowing particles and then broke into 5 separate white objects and then disappeared. Immediately afterwards, 3 starlight objects were noticed in the sky, 2 objects to the north, 1 to the south, all of which were about 10 off the horizon, 10 degrees off the horizon. The object moved rapidly in this sharp triangular movement and displayed red, green, blue lights. Elliptical through an 8/12 power lens. They then turned into 4 circles. The object to the north remained in the sky for an hour or more. The object to the south was visible for 2 to 3 hours, and being downs of streams of light from time to time. Numerous individuals, including the undersigned, witnessed the activities in paragraph 2 and 3. So that is Colonel Hall. Now, as you see, he was Deputy Base Commander at the time. Now, interesting with Colonel Hall is that he'd only just turned up on the base just before this happened. And when I was in the States, a chap said to me, he said, "Doc, if you can get into a security office, I bet you won't find any pictures. You're about to get another laugh." I thought, right, the only way I can get on there is to get arrested. Guess who's got arrested? Me and Brenda. Brenda said, what? Where I want to go. And I told her why. So we was carted off to the security office, and lo and behold, guess what? No picture of Colonel Hall. Why? He's Deputy Base Commander. Everybody else was there, but not his picture. Interesting fact to that, isn't it? So, anyway, going from there, that bit there, we got to see civilians. Found them interesting, you know, they saw quite a bit. We went round the back of the other side of the field where the cottages, and there was this chap, Mr. Boast, and blatantly refused to talk to us. Shoved us away. I know, and the forestry, got into the forestry office, that's all changed now. Probably got done up with the money they made out the media, because they charged them for going on the site. Tight kids. Excuse my language. It just gets to you at times, doesn't it? But you know, again, you know, they said, well, they didn't deny it. They didn't say no, it isn't. They said it's like the letters that Brenda and I and Jenny got from them in MOD. It wasn't a security problem. Meaning, they knew what it was. Ain't it? So we knew we was getting somewhere. We now realised something is going on here. And then for a while, everything went quiet. Weren't hearing anything. We interviewed. Now, I mean, this damn case will not leave me alone. Well, it would, but it won't. I mean, it'd probably even go to the grave with me. And a couple of years ago, I went back there because everything had quietened down about it all. And my friend Javier, he's up the back. I said, I want to go back there and to the Forestry Commission. That's how I thought the Forestry Commission had changed with the money they got. But when I went to Boast's house, and as luck would have it, he wasn't there because he didn't like me. But his wife was. It just reminded me of something else. His wife was. I said, oh, Doc. So I went over and said, I saw him. I said, what did you see? She said, there was 3 of them. I said, what? She said, there were like little children floating in a green glow. She said, in the corner of the field over there. I thought, blimmin' hell, am I hearing this or what? But sadly, Javier wasn't stood next week. It turned out he was talking to both because he just turned up. And that's all they got from her. Because then both realised who I was and told me to get lost. The ironic thing is, he threatened to get the police. Oh, she had. Because then I'd have said, right, you get the police, and I'll make sure every damn newspaper knows where you live. You won't want that. So that was that. But we did get the forestry, after that, the forestry commission, and a chap called Ben. He's at the forestry, and he said, oh yeah, it did happen. I said, well, the last time I went there, you had a hell of a lot of documents. He said, oh, no, the Ministry of Defence have got all them. Surprise. I know the Ministry of Defence have released some documents, but not all of them. You know, there's a heck of a lot more to come out. And I mean, it's like when we got the whole memo. You know, how did we get that? That was Larry Fawcett in the States that got that for me, with the rest of all the names. Larry Warren's name's on there as well. And I'm just so sorry that he gets a hard deal. He doesn't deserve it. No. He deserves a medal. And I'll be the first one to give it him. Right, let's see what's up next. There we go. Whole perspective. No, has anyone read this?
No.
I haven't yet. No, it's a John Hanson. I wish he was here. A really, really lovely guy. And he's written a lot of books. And he's written several books with Charles Holt, or Colonel Holt. But, yeah, it's one book I'd like to read. But one of the things that got me, and I've got my theories on this. Now, you may not like it. If you don't like it, tough. But I keep thinking to myself, why? Why did all this happen in Rendlesham? Yeah, don't you ask yourself, why? Why not Blackpool or somewhere else? Why there? A little sleepy place, you know, Woodbridge. And I spoke to a chap from the Ministry of Defence, whose name obviously I can't, for obvious reasons I can't say. And he said to me, he said, Doc, do you remember Greenham Common? I said, oh, that's where they had all the hoo-ha going on, protesters and that nuclear stuff. He said, you're right. I said, what do you mean I'm right? He said, nuclear stuff was there. He said, well, guess where they moved them? I said, go on, surprise me. Woodbridge base. He said, you're right. One of the things that my theory is why these beings turned up is to do something about those nuclear stuff. Because as Holt said in his memo, and he said it, and I've got a tape recording, and at the end of it, it said beams of light coming down over Woodbridge. I wonder where those beams of lights were going. Because those nuclear weapons were in hangars. Exactly where Holt said. So that's my theory. If you want to believe it, it's up to you. But that's my thought. And I like it. Yeah, there we go. Look. This is Larry, left his Eastgate. Anyone read that?
Yep, got it.
Louis got book. Yeah.
Whether we get on.
There he is. There's the man himself. Hi, Larry. That's when he was young. And obviously that's him now. Somewhat matured. But he's gone through hell. He really has. You know, my hat's off to him. Okay, Larry. I wish you was there, you.
Oh, yeah. Miss you, Larry.
Right, again, it's the first. One of the interesting factors with Rendlesham is, as I said, the trees, you know, she was going through the trees. Within a day or so after the event, that forest was felled with a tree in sight. Why? You know, there was markings on the tree. You know, you're worried about something. It says about radioactive stuff. Right? So, yeah, see, that bit there is similar to what it was like. You saw where I was. But you see, the trees, they're called a Corsican pine. And they come from Norway. And they get really tall. And the reason why they're sort of bare is because they're not getting sunlight. But, oh, I say, those that you've been there know what I'm on about. Oh, look! I wonder what's in there. If I'm right, Matthew might be able to correct me on this. I think, is that Woodbridge or Bentwaters?
Bentwaters.
Woodbridge?
Bentwaters.
Where?
Bentwaters.
Bentwaters, right. Yeah. Well, I never actually been round Bentwaters thing. So that's that one anyway. Wonder why you showed that, huh? Yeah. Oh, come and get me. Told you. You get what you see. He looked like an alien over there, didn't he? Look.
Not eyes.
Hello, Fred. That's obviously a mock-up of some kind. Oh, like a little alien over there. See, look at the eyes. And a lovely view of Bentwaters. You've got to take the main base. And you've got the runway. And I'm trying to figure out which way we're looking. But it's either to the left or the right. And not exactly in line with each other. But they're, I believe, about 4 or 5 miles something apart. You can't see it on there. But it's an interesting place. You can go on there now. Because although Woodbridge is still working, Bentwaters isn't. That's shut down now. If you go and visit and whatnot, not you see any aliens or anything, but you go there.
Didn't they film Top Gear there briefly?
Oh, I like that. Cool, but didn't they? Nice one, that, Matt. Well done, Matt. Again, there's is that Matthew? Is that Woodbridge?
Yeah, East Gate's down there.
Oh, it's no, Matthew's all right. The Woodbridge look close.
Such a legend. I love her.
Don't know what name. East Gate will be up that end because there's the river in the foreground, the background.
Oh, I thought it was down this way.
It's quite a short runway because, well, that's why the A10 doesn't need a long runway to come and land.
That's brilliant, Sean.
But I mean, I will do it because I'm such a determined ass. It's unreal. Is I will get back on there because you can actually go into the main entrance and go all the way around and it'll bring you straight to the estate. It's not very big at all. The actual base, the runway. The runway's probably longer than that is. Hello. You see what I see? And I've shown a rough idea of what was going on. Interesting factors, because those trees are fairly close to each other. Those of you who've been out there and noticed it. It amazes me how this object was able to go in and out through there. Somehow they do. Clever bastards, isn't they? Right.
A halt thing, wasn't it?
There you go. That's showing the guys out there. And I like the way they got the bosses with their hats on. That's giving you again a rough idea. I think, Matthew, this must be one of yours. I don't think I've got that one. Where's that, Matthew?
It's a reenactment from the History Channel documentary on
Who?
It's a reenactment from the History Channel documentary.
Oh, right. Oh. See, now what learned something? No, obviously, military, along there. Thank you for that, Matt. Well, that is certainly. There is John Burroughs. That is where, if you've been out there, that's what you see. That's one of the trails that goes down there. I say John is one of the witnesses. Now, I keep hearing, I don't know. Oh, that's what was seen on the craft. I don't know if it means anyone to anybody here, it doesn't mean, but one of the things, Jim Penston, if anyone went to the 30th anniversary of Rendlesham, Jim Penston was there as well as John Burroughs, but Jim put up the binary code.
Yeah.
And straight away I recognised it. It's a series of noughts and ones. Yeah, I'm taking it, most of you know what they are. And I feel so it's like a universal language, which makes sense. But again, that's one of my theories. But it's good. Trail begins ahead. It's interesting to go out there. Oh, hello. There you go. And that's not vodka.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
It's Brenda, Chris Penny, me, and the one and only tearaway, Nick Pope.
No.
That's not
Harry
Nick.
Harris.
No, it's not. It's Harry Harris. Well, he's just as good as Nick
I say, well, you'll be
Pope.
hissing if it's not Pope.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, isn't it? Well, you can tell who the drinkers are, though, can't you? Oh. News of the world job. Me and Brenda out on the side. See, that, now this was taken not long after the incident. You can see where it's all flat. But we had sat on that log. And I've got a feeling that was in the news of the world.
Yeah.
Georgina Brunei. Interesting lass. Sadly we've lost her. But you can't, the reason for the book, You Can't Tell the People, is she asked Margaret Thatcher about UFOs. And Margaret Thatcher's answer was, you can't tell the people.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, that was a good book. Forwarded by that person below.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
Harry. Yeah.
anyone read this book? Hands up that's read this.
Sky Crash.
Hey? Really? One? It's a book.
Oh, yeah, Brenda and Johnson.
Disappointing look. There's books going, you know. Well, that is basically, that's a hardback. It did come out in paperback as well. But no, I meant to bring a copy with me so you could see it more clearer. But yeah,
Yes, what's it?
the first
PR person.
hardback sold out of first edition. And sadly, Neville Spearman, the publisher, wouldn't go second edition because the paperback came out. The stock one, paperback come out. Actually, not knowing that. Quite so do.
Oh, bless her. Didn't he? That's worth fucking reading.
Oh, obviously the runway again. How we do for time?
What's the video? Ooh.
Ooh.
The crowd went.
Hey, nice one. Nice name. Oh. Anyone afraid of heights, don't watch. A lot less than that, too. Oh, no, I've not seen that before. Oh, well, it's a good view from the base. Amazing. Thank you, Matt. That is amazing. Oh, oh.
That's Eastgate
Yeah,
down there,
big,
isn't
isn't
it?
it?
Yeah, there.
I hope nobody's eating yet. That's it. Oh, Matthew, is that your drone doing that?
Yep.
Ah, I thought he's got a drone. No prize on that one. That's a good one, Matt. Well done. Oh. How long does it go on for, Matt? 5 hours?
Honestly, I love it so much.
Yeah. What's happened? When this is finished, I will be bidding you. Quite affected, didn't it? And you lasses feeling a bit funny in the tummy. Amazing. But I mean, as this is going, it has been a quest, an amazing experience investigating this case. And I'm so grateful for Matthew inviting me to be able to talk to you about it. And I hope I've given you some insight into the Rendlesham Forest case. Okay, so we will bid my goodbyes on this. Thank you very much.
Which bank is that one?